right, I'm here with Chef Ian, who lost 50 pounds and got really great results in the past 4 months and a half. So, for everyone watching, if you want to hear how he's done it as a busy chef and busy dad and learn about his experience, stick around, guys. Ian, thank you so much for doing this. I'm very happy with your results. But before we start talking about this, do you want to give the viewers a little bit of an intro about who's Ian?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a chef of almost 30 years, dad of two. I got a 14-year-old son and a almost 8-year-old daughter. So trying to stay active with my kids is the main motivation, and trying to do all this with the busy lifestyle of a chef. So that's why I got a hold of Leo. So.
Sounds good, man. So what was exactly happening in your life before we got started? You was just trying to get fit. I knew you had tried a bunch of things in the past and you had lost weight and gained it back. So what was exactly happening before we got started?
Prior to this, like you were mentioning, I've been up and down in weight. I've gone through the process a few times of losing weight and gaining it back. And so just before we started, it was kind of the doctor's appointment, getting my test results back, and they were not good. And it was kind of that motivation of, okay, I'm in my mid 40s. I have to look at fixing this now before it's too late to be fixed.
Was there like a moment that triggered you, okay, I better get someone to help me with this in specific, or did it just happen that we came across on social media and we got started?
It was the fact that, yeah, before COVID, I was in the gym very often. I lost a good amount of weight. Obviously, COVID screwed a lot of things up for all of us in this industry. But I could not find the motivation to get back into the gym and to get back on track. And I think all I needed was that little push. I don't know if you remember, we actually connected the first time a year before we started, a little over a year before we started
I
together.
think so. Yeah.
And at that time, mentally, I just wasn't ready. I wasn't there yet to start. And you kept just like sending messages every so often, or like the new year came across and you're like, Happy New Year, like, you ready? And yeah, so we kept in touch over those years, or you kept in touch, I should say. And then I think after those doctor's test results, and after I think one time you reached out, and I think, you know what? Yeah, I think I'm ready now. And I think I reached back out, and that's when we started. Yeah. So.
Yeah. Honestly, like I remember like before, just like when we were talking about getting started, I thought because you had done it in the past, you knew what you were doing and you were successful. The only thing that got in the way was COVID. I didn't see any specific reason why you wouldn't be able to do exactly the same thing as you've done before COVID, unless you wanted to do it faster,
Yeah.
unless you wanted to do it like in a different way, I guess. You were relying on conventional calorie counting and so on, right? You kind of like do a meal prep.
Yeah.
We're doing all the same workouts for,
The same
I don't know.
workouts, and then it was like eating small meals every 2 to 3 hours. Eating 2 to 300 calories every 2 to 3 hours, trying to space that out and trying to get that in as a chef was not easy. And
Crazy.
yeah, so then if you miss one, then what do you eat two, or do you just skip it? Yeah, it was very hard to keep up with. It worked, but it took a while. It took almost a year to, I think, I lost around 80 pounds, but it took a long time, and it didn't last, obviously, because here I am. So
All right, man. But 4.5 months later, you were down 50 pounds. I think I asked you, it was a little bit faster than you were expecting, I think.
mhm.
Although I apologized because I always try to stretch everyone else, like to get them to lose as much as they can. Because if they get 80% there, it's already an exceptional result. And
Yeah,
I usually go for that approach. And sometimes people instead of losing 80, they lose 50, which is already exceptional. But that was one of the cases. I think our first goal is probably still here on your calendar, was 80 or 85 or whatever that was. We got to 50, but that happened faster than you expected, right?
much faster. Yes.
And like apart from that, what other results did you see?
Well, I mean, my energy levels are up. My activity levels are up. Just my mobility um, is so much. better than it was. It was, hard for me just to get up and move around, hard for me to put the trucks away. And now, I have a competition with my dishwasher who helps me put the trucks away of who can put it away the fastest.
Nice.
Um, so yeah, it's getting a little bit more active with my son. I know we talked about planning something specific in one of our goal meetings. So the first thing we're planning is a bike ride together. So we're going to do that. And just overall, just feeling better, uh, just mentally, physically, just all of it. Yeah.
Sounds great, man. I know you told me, I think last week or 2 weeks ago, that one of your regional chefs or managers, whatever, that pops up
Mhm.
every now and then that noticed that you had lost weight again because you noticed the first time like 2 months ago, and now you noticed again.
Exactly. Yeah.
You had some compliments here and there that were quite exciting in this journey. Did you get some chef jackets you want yet, or are you still wearing the same?
Uh, so I got a different style of chef coat. It was the same size, but it fit a little bigger, I guess you could, or fit a little smaller. So it's a slimmer fit. So it kind of worked out. But I'm getting to the point where I need to drop a size soon. So I've given myself the goal. So when I get down to under 250, which I'm close, I'm what almost just 7 pounds away, basically.
Yeah, very close.
I'm gonna get to the next size down chef coat because they are getting pretty big on me, and I need to get new chef pants as well because those are also pretty baggy on me. And I think once
Good.
that happens, I think more compliments will come because obviously I'm wearing parachutes right now for chef clothes. Uh, so once I get the proper fitting clothes, I think more people will see the results.
Yeah, man, for sure. But I'm happy to hear that. Don't get too many new things though, because I mean, the way this is going, our goal is to get at least under 200, and I have a gut feeling that you're gonna get there, and you're gonna want to drop a little bit more. I think that's
Yeah,
what I think, but we'll see. So I mean, another 56 pounds. That's gonna require a lot smaller items. So I wouldn't invest too much on that. But that's great, man. What would you say was like during this period? What was your biggest challenge?
I think just getting mentally over the meal, the just skipping meals, I guess you can say. So like when I've like I've said, we've been up and down, and I've been up and down in weight my entire life. I've been on lots of different diets. I've talked to a lot of different people about what they've done to lose weight and all this stuff. And people have talked to me about the intermittent fasting before, and I've been like, I can never do that. I can never skip meals. I can never do that. And the way that you did it was so incrementally that it didn't really feel like I was missing anything. It just felt natural. Like, okay, I mean, granted, there were some days where it was harder than other days. But like now I don't ever wake up feeling like I need to eat breakfast ever. It's just natural that, I don't think about food maybe until the afternoon. Um, Maybe sometimes I don't think about food until the early evening when I gotta go home and cook dinner. So I think that was kind of the biggest thing that I thought was going to be the most difficult was but it actually turned out to be once you got into the program and get maybe past the first month or the first 6 weeks, it became fairly easy. But mentally, I thought that was going to be the most difficult thing for me.
That's normal. More than anything, is a psychological fear because then you start doing it, you get adapted, and it's fine. But
Yeah.
people are usually scared because most people have never been for such a long time without eating anything. So that scares that's a little bit scary. But then it's not a big deal, especially like if you have the proper meals before and after, that it ends up being smoother, and then it
Well, and that
becomes a lifestyle automatic pilot.
and that's the other thing. Like you said, the meal that you have after. So like now I'm extremely conscious of the first thing I eat after I haven't eaten. So especially if I'm doing my LP4 where I'm fasting the whole day, like the first thing that I eat is always protein now because um, if you eat something with carbohydrates or sugar, like you really feel it. Like it's like one of those. It's very odd. Like I've never felt like that before, but you can really feel that rush of sugar, I guess you can say, So now that makes me eat even better now because I'm more conscious of the what I'm eating right after the fast. So it's always protein before anything else. So
Yeah, definitely. And your relationship with food, your awareness of food is completely different.
yeah, well, like I know you've talked about it and other things, but the grazing that I was doing that I didn't realize through my line checks, through just walking the line, grabbing a French fry, grabbing a piece of bacon, I was so not conscious of how much that I was doing it. But when we started and I stopped and I would stop myself from grabbing that piece of bacon or grabbing that French fry. And then I was realizing that, man, every time I would walk by there, I would be grabbing something and how many calories that would add up to in a day. If you really sat down and think about it, was extremely significant or more significant than I ever thought it was. So
Yeah, it piles up because I think most chefs are don't realize that they think, oh, like, but I fairly eat healthy. I don't know why I don't lose weight. And then when they start realizing it's all those little meals that then pile up at the end of the day, you have a bunch of calories that you didn't account for. Speaking about that, what would be an advice you'd give to other chefs watching this that are potentially in a similar situation as you were before?
I would say, I mean, it's one of those things where like you have to be ready to you have to be ready to do it yourself. It's not like something that you can convince somebody to do. But if somebody's struggling with starting, I would just say it's one step at a time. Just start with one thing, whatever that one thing is. Get to the gym 1 day a week. Get to, eat, a healthier meal or try to skip breakfast 1 day a week. Start with that and then progress. And I think that's the key is just starting um, and then seeing some of the results, and then that makes you more motivated to do even more. And then you see more results, and then you want to do more, and then you want to get more like, and it's just one of those cumulative effects. And but it all starts with that first thing, whatever that first thing is. It's just that first small step. If you can get that going, the rest of it will come naturally.
Yeah, for sure. The problem is that most chefs do it the other way around. They try with a bunch of things at the same time, and then they get overwhelmed, then they stop, then they lose
Yep.
that momentum that you said. While if they do one thing at a time, that's
Yeah. Or
usually
I'm
a
going to
better.
try this extreme diet, and I'm going to work out, and I'm going to do this, and
Yeah,
yeah, and it's tough. But yeah, if you can just start, like, I mean, I know chefs are a lot of we like to drink. So if that's the first step, like just cut out the alcohol, that's a huge first step. Or, if you stop and pick up fast food on your way home, well, maybe your first step is not doing that, and let's eat something at home or meal prep before you go to work so you have it ready to go. Just whatever it is. If it's important to you, and you'll make that first step, and then the second step will come and the third step will come, and then it's over. Then you got fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh coming, and yeah.
absolutely,
So
absolutely. Then you see your first 10 pounds, then 20 pounds, 30 pounds, and then it starts getting better and better. But yeah, man, you are now working out 4 times a week. You're doing the split and then an extra workout in there. Now, just recently, you started doing a little bit more cardio. We have this project to starting to run a little bit. That's great.
that's the goal. Yep.
Your meals are healthy. You lost 5 pounds since last week, so that was pretty good. And
Yep.
yeah, so congratulations, man. Well
Thank
deserved.
you.
You amazing work, and I'm super happy about this. So cool.
I'm happy to as well, and I thank you, Leo, for just being there and just being the ear or the voice in my ear to help keep me going and getting the text, how's the week going? How's it going? And then you never get mad when it's not. We've had weeks where, well, we've had a few weeks in a row where nothing really moved, and you're just like, yeah, okay, whatever. Next week we'll do better. Next week we'll do better. It's always that, and that helps. It's never, what did you do or why didn't you do better? It's never a negative thing. It's always like, okay, that happened. Let's move forward. We're never looking. It's always looking ahead, which is great. So
Yeah, man, that's the mindset. We're human beings. We're not robots, so
yeah,
we're not perfect. But that's what we're here for. That's what we're here for. And yeah, to wrap up, if anyone has a questions for me or Ian, feel free to drop them in the comments. We'll get back to you. And that's it. Thank you all for watching. I'm gonna stop the recording now.